Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disabilities Redefined with Dr. Wagner. I am here with the one and only, and believe me, there is only one, Keisha Greaves, the founder, designer, and overall face of Girls Chronically Rock, which is a super successful, super cool t-shirt line. As I think you, Keisha, you guys have other items too, don't you?
Yes, I do. I actually have recently added some throw pillows to add some decor into your apartment. I have cuff bracelets and silicone bracelets. And I also don't want people to forget that, yes, it's called Girls Chronically Rock, but I have Men Chronically Rock as well. So I didn't forget about the men.
Okay, we're going to get into that.
Okay.
Okay, well, welcome, Keisha. That is amazing. And I'm very, very, very big fan. I'm a very big fan of the brand and you. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
All is good here in New York. You know, but just to let the audience know, before we started filming, I was saying how hot it was. So it is a hot morning here in New York City.
Oh, not here in Boston.
Okay, so I just want to jump right in now. Let's get a timeline here. About a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, we became friends over social media.
Yeah.
And I was working on a documentary as well as a gallery exhibition, photo exhibition in a gallery at Queens College with a great group of students entitled "Nothing is Missing: Models, Athletes, and Artists." And as you know, it featured very successful amputees, and we showcased some of your tees in that documentary as well as the gallery. So
yes.
Today we're finally speaking, but we've been in communication for a very, very, very long time.
Yes, we have.
So that brings us to our first question. What do you want Girls Chronically Rock to say?
I want Girls Chronically Rock people to know as yes, it's a fashion clothing brand, but also I look at it as Girls Chronically Rock movement.
Yes.
I'm looking to build this into an empire and to bring awareness to the disability community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you are, in fact, very much motivated by social movements.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that was a upcoming question, but you just answered it. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I just went over your, well, you know, I was doing homework on you last night. I got all my notes here. But listen, you're a fascinating young lady. So, I mean, it was a
Thank you.
But at the end of the day, you do actually have movements, logo movements and verbiage on some of your T-shirts. I mean, Girls Chronically Rock within itself is a social movement for the disabled community.
Right.
And I love the young lady on the I see it behind you there.
Oh yes. Yes, like we're strong.
Yes. Now you did speak about fashion. You've always been very fashion conscious. Is that correct?
Yes, I always had a passion for fashion. I always knew I wanted to be a fashion designer.
And that you have a BA and MA.
Yes, correct.
Okay, now the master's was at Cambridge College.
Yes.
Now, where was the BA?
BA, I received my bachelor's from Framingham State University, and I graduated in 2007.
Okay, 2007. Now, and you lived. Now, where was that university? Where was that college located?
In Framingham, Massachusetts. So probably like maybe 45 minutes away from Cambridge, depending on traffic.
Right, and then you lived in a dorm.
Yes, I lived on campus.
Okay.
That was fun.
I'm not going to go there about a second. We'll talk about that after, okay?
Yes.
Okay. But now, it was during your master's degree that you started feeling your symptoms of muscular dystrophy.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. And you were, at that time, you were back home in Massachusetts. You were living.
Yep. I was back at home living with mom.
Okay. Now, what was that like when because you were already in your late teens, early 20s at that time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, here I am living independently, living my best life. And then I just started to get really weird symptoms where my leg would kind of just give out and buckle on me. You know, I would just be honestly walking and then boom, I would fall to the floor. So it was actually the last time me, my mom and sister were at the supermarket where, you know, normally chatting about upcoming vacations, and then boom, I fall to the floor. And it was like every time I fell, it was like pretty much a dead weight. Like nobody can lift, like my mom and sister couldn't lift me back up. I couldn't lift myself back up. So it was like honestly a stranger that came in the parking lot to help me get up because it was like pretty much a dead weight. So
Right.
it took like that last fall where my mom and sister were like, I think it's time. Maybe we need to go to a doctor, see what's going on. Maybe it's something in the feet. Let's go see an orthopedic.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the diagnosis was muscular dystrophy.
Yeah. So pretty much then I go see an orthopedic at Tufts Medical Hospital out here in Boston, Massachusetts. And then I always remember I'm like lying down, regular examination. Both doctors come in. They asked me to raise my right leg. And the leg like pretty much would not move off the bed, like probably just like a little, not even an inch.
Right.
Same with the left leg. So both doctors just kind of look at each other like, I think this is something more neuromuscular. I don't think this is just in the feet. There was like, I think we recommend you going to see a neurologist. So I'm like, okay, still really not thinking anything of it. I'm like, oh, maybe I just need to lose some weight. No big deal. So I go see a neurologist out here in Cambridge, Mass, at Mount Auburn Hospital. So as soon as I go in to see her, I still see her to this day, which I'm grateful, Dr. Catherine Wang. And as soon as I go in, we kind of just go straight to it. We do MRI, EKG, EMG. But of course, the most interesting of all was when they did the muscle biopsy, where they took a piece of muscle from out of my right leg to test it. And I was not put to sleep for that. They just pretty much numbed around my leg. So I was wide awake as I was seeing the muscle taken out of my leg, see how it went to the bag. It was pretty interesting. I almost felt like I wanted to touch it. and then so from that test, the doctor called me. I always remember that day, and she's like, Keisha, you have muscular dystrophy. And I'm like, she had to be calling the wrong person because I don't have muscular dystrophy. What is muscular dystrophy? Nobody in my family seemed to have it. So I'm just like, oh, maybe she must have made a mistake. But I know deep down something, I'm like, there probably is some truth to this. So of course I run to the internet, like what most of us do when we start to get symptoms. And I'm like researching muscular dystrophy, and it's like, oh, it only affects young boys. There's no treatment or cure. Some people don't live past a certain age. So all that is going through my head. I'm like, well, if it's saying it affects young boys, like I'm a girl.
Right.
I'm like, oh, she totally has it all wrong. But then as the time I'm researching, it's like there's so many types of muscular dystrophy. So my type I was diagnosed with was limb girdle muscular dystrophy.
Uh-huh.
So mine's pretty much affects the limbs pretty much to the entire body. And
Right.
it has progressed over the time from when I was first diagnosed. Because when I was first diagnosed, I was still, able to drive, work, doing my merchandising jobs, and, living my life.
Yeah, you actually have a very interesting blog edition where you
Yes.
speak about driving and how you driving kind of, your evolution as a driver with muscle.
Yeah. It was actually when I wrote my first blog on Tumblr, when I started talking about it, my symptoms and living with muscular dystrophy. It's like it took that moment for me as I'm typing it out loud. And I'm like, wow, I have muscular dystrophy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's crazy. So it's like, never mind what the doctors were saying. It's like it took for me as I'm writing that. And I'm like, wow, I have muscular dystrophy. So when I posted that on social media, I got so much great positive feedback. And these were from friends that I've talked to on a regular basis, but I didn't say a word. And looking at me at the time, I wasn't walking with no mobility aids, no wheelchair. So looking at me, you would never know, like, oh, she has muscular dystrophy. I used to drive and park at handicap spots, and older people, all people would come up to me like, oh, you're too young to be parked there. Why are you parking there? That's for, older people. And it's like, and I realized you never know what somebody's going through. So don't just judge. Like, obviously I got the sign for a reason. They don't just hand that out.
Right, there you go. That's true. So then, I understand, and again, you speak about the denial. I just watched an interview with you, I watched it last night. I think it was actually 2 weeks ago, with two other young men there in Massachusetts, I believe it was, that you did the interview with them. Good Morning, Massachusetts, or something like that.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
yes.
Yes. So you did speak very much about the denial, but you overcame it. So
yes, I tried.
Right. The question then is that your passion and your interest and your skill and your talent being fashion. How much did getting back into fashion through your t-shirt line really help you overcome this denial?
Yeah, it definitely takes some time. I told people I felt like I just came out of denial, honestly, the other day. So it definitely was a lot, especially I'm working in a merchandising field, working at department stores such as Macy's, Nordstrom's, Target. And when I would go on job interviews, when I started walking with a cane, I would tell them like I sprained my ankle or I was in a car accident. So that's how much in denial I was. I was saying everything but muscular dystrophy because me saying that word out loud was going to mean that it was real. So I said it's like sprained ankle and car accident sounded better to me at the time. So that's how much just like a background of a denial I was. So when I first wrote that blog, it kind of like opened the door a little bit, not 100%, but just like a little crack in the door. And I thought, you know what? I'm a true believer in things do happen for a reason. So I thought, why not, put my dreams into fruition? Because I knew I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, own my own business, make my own rules, do me. So, and I thought how I came up with the name is that I knew I wanted something with the word chronic in it for chronic illnesses, but I didn't know exactly how I wanted to incorporate that all together. So I honestly was just lying in bed one night and I thought Girls Chronically Rock. And I loved the way it sounded. I loved the way it flowed. And then that's when Girls Chronically Rock was formed. And I'm like, it's time to put my fashion business, into my dreams into fruition and do, what I was put to do. And, I thought maybe this is my way to express, my journey about living with muscular dystrophy and denial and express that through my line, Girls Chronically Rock.
Wonderful. Well, it's a great line. I love the designs, the logos
Thank you.
It's done very well. Like I say, we had the documentary, Nothing is Missing, Models, Athletes, and Artists. And
yes.
Lisa Graham, the top model, she was there.
So gorgeous. That was such a beautiful photo. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, we've got a lot of photos. We will edit a lot of them in. But we actually had her that day that we brought your T-shirts in. We actually did very high fashion stuff with her. Very high.
Okay.
But then we brought out your T-shirts and it worked. It worked very well with it.
Yeah.
So, congratulations. And we love doing it. She still has the T-shirt. She's still.
Yes, awesome.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, because you are an entrepreneur, you're definitely a strong woman.
Yes,
and
I try.
Did you think that when you accepted your disability and, like you say, could speak about it and put it out there and on blogs and social media and all over your T-shirts, did you think it was also easier for other people then to accept it and just relax around you a little bit?
Maybe. That's still something I feel like I never know what somebody's thinking.
Right.
In the back of their head, where it's like some people feel like when I read on support groups, like, oh, my friends don't want me. They didn't invite me because, I'm like too much of a burden. And, it sometimes makes me think because I'm like, yeah, they haven't said it to me personally, but who knows what they're thinking. But I'm so grateful for the family and friends support that I have.
Right.
And now they are well aware of it now going to like family functions and how they know now, like I have to call in advance to make sure a place is accessible, make sure it's wheelchair accessible, doesn't have stairs. So I kind of appreciate, I think, from them learning over the years, now they take it upon themselves, both family and friends, to call in advance, like, oh, hey, Keisha, do you want to go out on Saturday? And I already called the restaurant. It's wheelchair accessible. They have an elevator. And I'm like, thank you. So it's like, I think it definitely opened their eyes and it definitely opened my eyes, because as I mentioned here, I was diagnosed in my later 20s. So things that I think about now, going to a place, making sure it has the handicap button and all of these little things where I wouldn't think about that before. And it's like, wow, like I would have totally not been thinking about, oh, it's a place wheelchair accessible. I need to make sure I have a walk-in, roll-in shower. Like, so now these are all things that, I have to think about all the time. And then now it's like, I'm like, there's a whole world of that disability community where it's like, wow, like we have to deal with things every day, like the smallest things where me as an able-bodied person, took for granted.
Well, but that's the importance of your blog, that you can share this. And that was kind of, I was leading up to that question, what other than Girls Chronically Rock and this great fashion movement, because you do have a very successful blog as well.
Thank you.
You can share these messages.
Yes.
So that was the question. What do you want the blog to stand for?
I want the blog to just stand by kind of like my journey, like as you had read, like about me driving, when I'm loving my car, my Toyota RAV4, and then having to give that up. That was hard. I'm just like I cried the day I had to bring that back to the Toyota dealership. Because I'm like, here I am. It's like, I loved my car, especially being in myself, like when I used to be driving to different, like jobs and things like that. But it was hard. So it's like I try to express my feelings and everything through my blogs. And I just want to be like raw and honest and people to get my story and
Right.
to understand like this disability world is still, I feel like I'm still learning things every day. People may ask me like some questions and I'm like, you know what? It's okay for me to say like, I don't know. Like I'm still figuring out the correct terms, like how some people like to say, oh, you have a disability. Don't say you have a chronic illness. And, that's something I'm learning because I'm like, I had no problem with like saying both of them. So
Uh-huh.
it's kind of like, I feel like I'm still learning as I go on as well from the disability community of what's the correct term, what's not the correct term. And, so I'm learning from them as they're learning my story as well.
Right. Well, now, which brings us to social media.
Yeah.
I too am a very strong advocate of social media. I'm not very good at it. When I started the talk show here in New York, the talk show was around for and we do very well here in New York on TV. We get a good viewership here in New York.
Nice.
But the talk show is seen in New York. Then what I do, and of course we're in the middle of a pandemic, so I'm doing things through Zoom now. But and then I started putting it on YouTube. Then I started an Instagram page, but I don't really promote and market. You kids are out there all the time. I mean, listen, I'm a 52-year-old man. I'm like, it's just like.
What? You do not look like it.
Oh no, I'm feeling like it every bit this Monday morning. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. But anyway, I'm getting better, but I think a lot of things that you said about asking questions and people not knowing, social media has opened a lot of doors for the disabled population.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a great thing. And I really just do appreciate not just your clothing line, but all over Girls Chronically Rock and what is it, I'm a badass and all of this other stuff. But, just the blog and the sharing is crucial. Storytelling is very important.
Yes.
So, we need more. We need more Keishas out there. So, now, I also hear, we're winding things up, but I also hear that you are a very big TV fan. You love watching TV.
Yes, I love it.
I am a huge TV. I think TV is one of the best forms of entertainment ever.
It is. It honestly keeps me sane, I tell people. It does, especially like when I'm having a bad day or if I have a fall, me knowing that I have some entertainment to watch on the TV, it's like, I love it. And I'm obsessed with Wendy Williams. I don't care what anyone says. And I've been like dying to get on her show, come to New York. But of course, now during the pandemic, I'm like, I have to wait till things get back up.
Well, no, you were in New York. We almost got you on our show, but your schedule didn't allow because you were modeling on.
Yes, for Runway of Dreams, and that was like that was such a great experience. It was my birthday weekend, so that was a lot of fun. I was hoping to come back to New York this year for Fashion Week, but it doesn't look like Fashion Week is happening.
I don't think we're going to have it this week. Usually I have a fashion show that coincides with Fashion Week.
Oh, cool.
Usually our studio is very much coinciding with Fashion Week, and a lot of the models in Runway of Dreams come to the studio for Fashion.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
We were trying to work it out.
Yes, well, hopefully next time.
Let's just keep trying because we'll make it work.
Yes, we will.
So if you could write a reality show about your life, what would it be about and what would you want to name it?
I honestly, this is something I think about all the time. I've been trying to get different TV stations and networks to get attention. I honestly think, because I don't know if you ever watched that show, Little Women of LA or Little Women of Atlanta on Lifetime. I love
Lifetime?
Yeah. Yep, it comes on Lifetime. And it's like Little Women of LA.
Okay, I'll check it out. But I do watch a lot of TLC under the Discovery. They have the TLC channel.
Oh, yes. I like TLC as well.
Yeah, I love that. I'm pitching things to TLC all the time.
Nice. Well, good. I will keep my fingers crossed. Yeah. That would be awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, just kind of like a fun kind of reality show, still like full with drama, taping like people with not just me, but my friends here that I have living with muscular dystrophy. Like, yes, we still like to go out, have a good time party. Yes, we still date. Yes, we like to entertain. Yes, we're on dating websites. And it's like, yes, we go out and drink and have fun. We have a good time. So it's like, I just think like, because I don't really see that on TV now. And the reason I brought up Little Women is because I kind of feel like, yes, they're called Little Women, but they're also people that have considered to have a disability. So there was some things like, yes, I'm not a little person, but there was some things that they talked about on their show that I could relate with. And some things I learned, like how they said they don't like to be called midgets. They're like, don't call us that. So I kind of like that platform where Lifetime, gave them the opportunity, because I'm like, these little women, it was full of drama. They're fighting, but still like have some great moments. I learned a lot from it. So I just like kind of compare it to that. But like, from my standpoint, like people with disabilities, us in the wheelchairs, people walking with a walker, whoever. But I just think our life, as I don't haven't thought of a title yet of the show, but I have the vision of how I want the show to play out and what I want it to tape and everything. And then I want like to build like a franchise, like TV show here in Boston, just like how they do Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of New York, and then there's one New York, LA, and I just want to be on all of them.
That is wonderful. That is great. Well, hey, let's keep trying then, because again,
Yes.
I think the more we get out there, the more stories we can tell, and the more people, as you say, will understand.
Yes, exactly. And it'll be fun.
Yes, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Again, we spoke about this at the beginning. I love your men's division. We will definitely work something out with, I think with you, I want to bring in, because we've always done girl models, female models.
Yeah.
I think as soon as things get back to the new normal, whatever that means, let's
Right.
work and let's bring in some male models who are disabled, and let's bring you in and let's get some fashion stuff going on, because your new
Yes.
line for men is amazing, and I love the social movements that you bring in and just the overall message you send. So congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
Okay, so this is it. It was great. Thank you.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Bye.